Now let's speak to Caitriona Graham, who we just saw in that report. She was pushed down by Israeli forces as Ben Gvir walked by. And she joins us now from Istanbul. Istanbul's where you've just landed after being literally thrown out of Israel. So just walk us through your first contact with Israeli security forces to your last.
So in this kidnapping, so it was the second kidnapping that I've gone through in this Flotilla mission. In this kidnapping, there were words of confirmation of interception ongoing from about 10:30 in the morning. And our boat was intercepted about 3 hours later. Normally in these proceedings, in previous missions that I've been part of, they will board, they will look for the captain, but it will all be, so long as nobody escalates, which we never do, we make sure that everything is smooth and it is relatively low violence. There might be some verbal abuse, some psychological abuse, but no signs of real physical abuse. Whereas this time, immediately, they came in with rubber bullets. They singled out one of the others on the boat, put him lying down, cable tied behind the back, and blindfolded him, and he ended up nearly falling in the water. And from that moment on, it was very clear that they were extremely ready to escalate with violence at every step of the way throughout the detention process.
That escalation seems to be coming from the Israelis to try and stop you guys doing exactly what you're trying to do, which is to make a point. But why do you keep doing it?
I think it's important that we show that we will resist until we have met our goal, which is supporting our Palestinian comrades in their struggle for liberation of Palestine. We need to make sure that we will not be deterred by any kind of threats, by what they are trying to do to us. We will hold strong and we will continue. And we call on people all around the world to do the same, to rise up in the face of oppression, colonialism, white supremacy, and to make sure that we speak truth to power every time we have an opportunity to do so. Because when we do this, we know that change will come.
But it does take a lot of the oxygen out of the debate. We are actually just talking about, this aid flotilla, which we do know is going to get boarded. There are going to be situations where you're just going to, be arrested and then be deported. Now, this was a particularly violent episode that you went through, so I don't want to kind of, take that away from you. But how much, of giving the Palestinian cause the publicity it needs are you actually doing? Because we're talking about you, not a Palestinian right now.
So our whole point is that we know that attention will be brought when it is people from other backgrounds. It should be a headline. Every single time a Palestinian person is brutalized by the IOF, by the Israelis, every single time a child has to have a limb amputated, every single time a Palestinian prisoner in an Israeli prison is tortured, it should be headlines. Every single time an Israeli sniper murders a person, whether in Gaza, in the West Bank, it should be headlines. And sadly, it is not. And that is something that needs to change. One thing that we can do in our struggle to open a humanitarian corridor to Gaza, to challenge the illegal siege that is held on Gaza, we are trying to do that. That is the ultimate goal. Every single mission, we change our strategies, we reflect, and we do our best to make sure that we will be successful in that. But in the meantime, what we can do is raise attention, raise awareness. Ever since this so-called ceasefire deal was made, so many people around the world have bought into the idea that the genocide has ended, when we know the reality is that that is not the case. Bombings are ongoing, murders are ongoing, starvation is ongoing, a lack of robust aid needed is ongoing. But also we need to go further and make sure that it's clear the people in Gaza should not be dependent on aid. They should be self-sufficient, which is why it's so important that we keep taking actions to break the illegal siege. So we're going to keep on doing that. And every single time we speak up, we do everything we can to make sure that the focus is brought to Palestine, is brought to Gaza. And that is something that I'm trying to do and so many of us are trying to do. Our experiences, it's not about us. It's about what we can do to support the Palestinian struggle for liberation.
Caitriona, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, and I wish you a safe onward journey home.